Good morning, my people. Good morning. Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made. I came to rejoice and be glad in it. My sister, your hair looks like perfect today.
You should have seen it about 5 minutes ago. When I woke up, it was everywhere. It
It was
was
everywhere.
it was everywhere.
It was the what would be the
Yeah, no, we're live.
Esther's debating whether to come say hey to Aunt LaDonna.
Sure.
She doesn't want to be seen by everyone that's on. So.
Oh Lord, at 25, as beautiful as she
Come show
is,
your
she's
scrubs to
seen in any
everybody.
condition.
Everybody's proud of you.
They love you so
Everybody's
much.
proud of your your doctor said you could have
All
done
your
that.
things. She's the bag lady in LaDonna.
Cool.
All right, she's
Hi,
going
good
to
morning.
look at all of her things that she
All of her
takes to
things.
work. Okay. Have a good day. Heal the world, make it a better place for
Okay,
you.
quick story. Since she
Yeah.
has her lunch or whatever in a Kroger bag, I have a very, very good friend who's about my age. And she said that when the first time she's been married several times, and the first time she got married, though, she said she was super young and very naive. And so she and her husband, they didn't have a lot of money. So one of their parents had paid for them for their wedding night for one night in a really nice hotel. So she said she was so excited about it, and she didn't even think anything about it until later on after she had done it. But she said they got out of the car, and this is kind of a hotel that had bellhops, and they had like carried just their clothes for one night in plastic grocery bags. And she said the bellhop just like took them from him and like hung them on the big gold
Yeah.
cart. And she said they were going through this lobby of this expensive hotel with Kroger bags with their clothes going. She said the bellhop was even embarrassed.
Ma'am, your things. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right. So I was going to tell you something I forgot when we
We both
started.
have our green tone today.
What'd you say?
We both have our green tone,
Our green, we
different
green
shades.
day. It's a green day. All right. Well, welcome everyone's fully awake 365, our daily devotional. Today is May the 16th. We are in the month of not being in trouble, but being in transition. And today we're going to talk about performance proving and prerequisites. I always struggle saying that word. I want to say
Me too. I scanned it earlier and I said I'm going to have issues with that word.
Requisites. Okay. It's because you got the R, two R back-to-back R's, and the Q
Yeah.
does a W sound. Wah, qua.
Yeah.
It's like rah, rah, rah. Re, rah, rah, rah. Re, rah, wah, wah. Prerequisites in your face. Don't act like I'm the only one struggle to say some words.
Another word I always have trouble with, empowerment.
Empowerment.
Empowerment. I can't say
Really?
it quickly. Empowerment.
Well, onomatopoeia. So what's what is an onomatopoeia?
An onomatopoeia is when a word is spelled the way it sounds, like bam.
Or wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
I
Onomatopoeia.
think I think that's what it is.
Well,
If memory serves, I'll have to look it up.
all right, my people. Well, I have a little joy for you this morning. I think this song describes uh our trek, our trek together across the consciousness of our minds. See if you recognize the song and the artist.
Before we play it,
Yep.
an onomatopoeia is, you were close, LaDonna. It's when the word from an associated sound. So like cuckoo or sizzle, that's an onomatopoeia.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like what it's
Yeah.
spelled like what it sounds like. It
Yeah, the
sounds
formation of a word
It
from
sounds
a
like what it
sound
means. Yes.
associated with
Yes.
what is named. Okay. All right, off we go with the song.
Bam.
Come along, take a ride. There's a party over there that ain't no job. It's live, live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. Just slide, glide, slippity slide. Just forget about the troubles in your 9 to 5 and just sail on. That's what you do, just sail on. Now the groove so funky, hey, what do you think? What is it called? It's called a lakeside stank. Come along and ride on a fantastic voyage. I'm the captain of this vessel. We wanna take you on a cruise all around the land. Music is at hand. We wanna play it for you. You see,
Ow.
want to be, we want to be crew of entertainment.
I said a whoop upside the head. A whoop upside the head. Anybody remember that? Whoop upside the head.
Yes.
Whoop upside the head. Do you remember, LaDonna, when we would be joning on each other? I don't know. I'm thinking about this week. And somebody would say, Bim. Do you remember Bim?
Bam, why?
It wasn't Bam. Like we just decided that, I don't know if this was just my little area in South DeKalb, but instead of saying like Bam, if somebody got joned
It
out,
was
he would
Bam,
say, ooh,
yes.
Bim, Bim. Anybody, does anybody else remember Bim out there? Or is that just me? I bet you Cassius Turner remembers Bim. 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 Okay. All right. That's one of my favorite songs. I'm the captain. Huh. On the voyage, on the cruise.
And
You know,
I'm pretty sure they were the first people to have a lyric that just said slide, slide, slippity slide.
slide, slide, slippity slide. Sometimes you got to do it. All right, people, talk to us, Brandon.
Okay, Mary and Dr. Sharda both got the song. Is Mary, Confunction, is that the name of a
That's a
band?
group, but that's not right.
Okay. Sometimes you guys get me because I'm not quite in your
Junction, what's your
okay.
function?
So that was a guess. All right, guess let's see over on YouTube. Robbie, Rest in Peace, or Josh Johnson, Dr. Ray, Elita. I don't really see very many that got both. Yeah, Robbie got both, Shannon got both. Terry Salcedo and Alita, I see you guessed the artist. Alita, or excuse me, Terry said, "Sail on." No idea, but I like it.
It's a voyage of some sort. We're sailing.
She said, but I like it. Dr. Ray, excuse me, Elaine, oh, Miss Elaine, and Mary Jenkins. So, LaDonna, I'll let you reveal.
Okay, the name of the band is Lakeside. And that was
Lakeside.
Fantastic Voyage.
Fantastic voyage.
I was just looking up because, as I recall, that band had like 122 members, it seemed like. But I looked it up, and really, I don't think they have as many as Earth, Wind, and Fire. They only had 9 members, but that's still a lot.
Yeah. That type of song, that genre is just straight funk.
Yes,
That is
that is
considered
that
funk
that would
music.
be in my 70s funk playlist. That meets all the requirements.
That would be Parliament-esque right there.
Yes.
Robbie said, "Confunction, fun, fun, fun."
Fun, fun, fun. So we had a drummer, and then I promise we'll jump into the devotion. We had a drummer when I was the youth pastor at our church years ago, who kind of played gigs with everybody, mainly with Sly and the Family Stone, if you guys remember that name.
Another
And
70s funk band.
he's a very eccentric gentleman. Rest in peace. A very sweethearted gentleman, but he was about 6'4", 6'5". And this was like in the 90s. He had shaved his entire head, but he had dreads coming out of just the top part of his head, and they were like all the way down past his back, past the top of his butt. And he would like tie like bandanas and just all kinds of stuff into his hair. But he didn't have a driver's license. He was just kind of like a musical savant type guy. And so I would pick him up for band practice and for our services. But he liked funk music. He liked Parliament. I mean, his whole house was just drum stuff everywhere. He gigged with everybody. And so he made up his own genre of music, and I need to see if it's still something that people are doing. He called it funkabilly. Funkabilly. And so he would take like hillbilly, like West Virginia, like, like just down home, like bang, 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 bang. There's a story about a man named Jet, and he would try to put like a funk lyric, a funk beat to it. And so, if anybody remembers, Fats Gallon, his name was Eric Gallon, but we called him Fats Gallon. He was just a trip, incredibly talented guy, sweetheart. But rest in peace, Fats. We love you. We miss you.
I think
Okay.
I think the closest thing to anybody's ever come to repeating that is the guy in the 90s or maybe early 2000s named Bubba Sparks. He was a white
Yeah.
guy, but he was from the South, and he didn't mix funk and hillbilly, but he mixed rap and hillbilly.
Country and hip hop,
Yeah.
hillbilly hip hop.
Yeah.
All right, peoples. Maybe Fats knew something was on the way. Although we do see hip hop kind of invading into country music, and I just think it's an amazing thing to watch. Like, how are we going to do this? That it's not quite the same as like Aerosmith and
Run DMC.
Run DMC. It's not quite because rock and hip hop have always kind of had a thing. They always have had like a little they could get on that beat together. But country music and hip
Country, it's
hop,
very,
that's
yeah, it's very
like
different.
right in the middle of my dog just died. Some rapper's going to come out and just like spit a few bars. Like,
Yeah.
what is
Bubba
going
Sparks,
on?
though, he did it pretty well. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard of him? Bubba
I have heard
Sparks?
the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you some. Yeah.
All right, people.
Okay.
Performance proving prerequisites. It's on you, LaDonna.
Our affirmation is today I am aware that my self-worth and my worthiness are not dependent on my performance, proving myself, or satisfying any prerequisite. I am worthy right now, just as I am.
All right, so how do we operate in our close relationships if we don't feel um, as if we deserve to be loved, to be embraced, to be honored, to be to be included by those that we are in relationship with? Well, if we don't feel that we innately deserve the love, then we do things to prove that we deserve it. And it's not that we shouldn't do things for people that we love or be dependable and willing to help and present there. But is that a prerequisite for getting love? Like proving ourselves that we have a great skill or talent or intelligence or a tool set of some sort. These are important things that we bring to relationships, but that's not the basis of us feeling that we are worthy of love. What you bring, what you do, is not who you be. We are not human doings, we are human beings. And so our deservedness or worthiness for love is not what we can do or what we operate on. Remember, the ego tells us one of the things that Dr. Wayne Dyer told us that the ego convinces us of is that we are what we do. We are not what we do. We are who we am, who we be. All right, the essence is of us is who we are. What we do can change over time, even in loving relationships. If you begin to define your worthiness of love by something you do and then something about your physicality or your mind or your energy level changes and you're not able to do that thing anymore, do you feel that you're not being loved because you're not bringing that service? I think that's difficult when people sometimes transition into retirement. How do I redefine myself, what I'm doing, how people see me, am I worthy of love anymore, that I'm not actively working anymore? And so all that kind of bleeds into how we see ourselves and the thing that is strange though, and this is what I think is what we don't see, it's kind of underneath the surface, is that when we carry that sense of not being worthy of love, we attract that type of love. So we welcome people into our vibratory space that say, do this, go do that, go do this, because you're not worthy of love. And so I'm gonna basically use you for the things you can do for me. And so how do we attract people to us that just love us for who we are? Well, the first thing is you have to love yourself. You have to fall in love with you. If you don't love you, you're going to attract people to you who don't love themselves and who really and all of us are worthy of love, but in that vibration, they're saying to the universe, I'm not worthy of love. And so that's what we're attracting. Yeah. So first, we are worthy of love because we come from a loving creator. Why do we deserve love? You came from love. You come from a loving source. And so in that way, there's nothing you have to do or perform to be deserving of love. You're a loving person. You came from love, you deserve love, and you deserve to give love. That's how, and that what the Beatles said. The main thing in life is to learn to love and to be loved. If we can learn that lesson, wow. Second, our self-worth either invites or blocks love from finding its way into our lived experiences. When we love ourselves, here it is. We not only do we attract the love of others, we tap into our capacity to love others. So if our love language is really based on our performance, we don't really ever attract the right love because we're not giving the right love. And so it doesn't mean we shouldn't perform things. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have tasks that we do. We all live in that space, but that is not the basis of how we give and attract love. We cannot give what we do not have. Yeah, or what we do not have to give. All right, it's a heavy, heavy life lesson, man. All of us could take a big old deep breath and learn that one. Yeah, in all of your doing and all of your getting today and all of your proving and performing, remember that's not your innate value. You deserve love because you came from love and you deserve to give love. Attract some good people to yourself today. Yeah, don't attract people using you. Attract people who truly love you because you love yourself. All right, back to you, LaDonna.
Yeah, the Beatles, they have a famous song, and the last lyric is, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
Yeah.
Oh, I've always loved that line. And I had to, if everybody saw me looking down, I had to put in my little notes in my phone, we are who we am. I think I might that might be a title in one of my Tuesday mornings soon.
We
We
are
are
who
who
we
we
am.
am.
Yeah,
I
there you
love
go.
that.
Just
Okay.
beautiful.
Our ending prayer is unconditional love. Today, I set my heart to love me, to be loved, and to love others. Help me to accept my worthiness. Amen.
You are worthy. You be worthy. Have a great rest of your day. All of us are on this fantastic voyage together. The Cosmic Christ Part 4 is this Sunday morning. Until then, I will be watching the NBA playoffs. There are some good games on LaDonna. I know that you're going to be waiting with bated breath
Until you said that at this moment, I was completely unaware that was even happening. I have
because
no idea.
you're not abreast
I
on
do
the
not
things of the
follow
world.
sports like
Where
at
will
all.
I be while you're watching that game?
Brandy has tapped into her agency. She's found her voice in this house, of course, years ago. But, for a long time, she would just kind of suffer with the NBA games. And she would just be in the same room, usually asleep. And then we would do something to her, put something on her head or
Draw things on her face.
draw
Yes.
things on her face. Um, but now she has been like, look, we're in the same house. I love my people. I'm going to the basement and I'm going to watch my new Netflix
Yes.
or whatever, So
One of my biggest
we yell down to each other, how's your show? Great. How's your game? It's terrible. My team's losing it.
I am forever grateful. My first husband was a sports fanatic, and I suffered through every single night of da 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 sports nerd, which I hated. But now my husband of almost 30 years, he watches World Cup soccer once every 4 years, and that's about it. And I'm
That's all
like,
you get. That's all you get. Well, sorry you don't live a well-rounded life. I just pray for you. Yeah, I mean, think about me. I'm a Mr. Athlete guy, and I like to go to a good Broadway show. I sing a show tune. I think you're missing out on life, LaDonna. You need to come watch some basketball games with me. All right, people. So I have to admit this before we get off. There's a place in our neighborhood. I won't be too. I don't think anyone watches our devotion in our neighborhood, but there's been this little walkthrough in our neighborhood for years, and everybody just was able to use it. You know, it's like a shared thing between the community, but somebody moved in as a new neighbor who has forbidden people to walk through the walkthrough because it comes on part of his driveway. And so, but I've noticed him taking his walks recently and coming through down to our side. And where I live is like a little, it's not a private drive, but it's like a privately maintained space that we have to pay for the asphalt if it gets cracked and all that. And he's coming, and so there's just that little space of me that wants to go, now let me get this straight, sir. You just moved in here, and for 20 years people have been sharing this space, but we can't walk across to yours, but
But
you are
you,
now walking across to ours, and I'm just gonna have to say, Jesus, be a fence all around me.
you know what you say in the spirit of BIM? You say, hold up, wait a minute.
Hold up, wait a minute. You can't walk on my street. Get it, get it. Yep. All right, people. All right. Pray for me today. I'm gonna zip it up and just suffer with Jesus today. See you guys again Sunday morning. Go in peace.